What's going on, guys? Nick Saponaro here for your Divi somewhat live at 5 monthly update. Obviously still in Dubai, so I don't have all the equipment and fun stuff that we normally have, so I just wanted to do a quick video to give you guys a quick update. First of all, I want to say thanks for everyone who's been downloading the wallet, playing around with it, giving us feedback. It's been really, really valuable, and I want to give you guys an update on how everything's been going so far. Obviously, we just rolled the wallet out 8 days ago as of this recording. It'll be 9 days when you guys see this. So let's just talk about some of the primary metrics. First of all, we have about 28.5 thousand downloads. Pretty nice increase this month or last month of about 1,600. We expect that to go up much more when we start rolling out all the marketing. As far as master nodes and supply distribution, still about 80% of the network is working in either staking or master nodes. Less than 600 million Divi is circulating in the ecosystem. We have just over 5,000 nodes and vaults, and it's always constantly growing. So as far as the actual launch is concerned, we have just over $300,000 in volume on the swap side of things. Again, expecting that to increase quite a bit as awareness grows and people get a little bit more comfortable and familiar with how the software works. We see a lot of smaller transactions happening as well right now. So I think people are just like trying to get their feet wet, test things out. Just over 600 users have successfully gone through the KYC process. Again, I think that'll jump a lot more over the next months. We even saw just today 100 new users jump through the KYC hoops. In my opinion, we haven't even really begun to start to see the true onboarding. Obviously, there's tens of thousands of users using Divi in one way or another, and we've only seen 600 people on board for the fiat on-ramp. So again, that will increase just in our general community, not even including the newcomers that are starting to come into the ecosystem. Most people right now are using credit card to purchase. We have seen some wires go through, but it's mostly credit cards. And right now, a lot of them are, of course, in the US, but we are seeing some international stuff happening as well. And we'll keep pushing to make it easier, cheaper, faster, etc. for everyone worldwide. I also wanted to address a couple of questions, probably the two most frequently asked questions about the wallet. The first one being, when can we buy Divi directly, and why was that not included in this update? First of all, we wanted to focus on getting the core capabilities out the door. So it's very difficult to get a layer 1 listed on some of the custodian services and on-ramp services. Now that the wallet is out, now that the update and all these features are fully in your hands, now we can shift back focus to working with those third parties to get buy Divi directly in the wallet. It will come. So right now, though, the easiest and cheapest way to purchase Divi is on board with Litecoin and then swap Litecoin for Divi. The other question is the delay between onboarding with your credit card or your wire transfer or whatever, and the delay between that happening and you actually getting your cryptocurrency in your wallet. This is a brand new relationship with the trust company that we're using. As that relationship grows, we will have the ability and the opportunity to negotiate faster onboarding times with lower delays. The first 90 days, however, are sort of a provisional period, so to speak. So after that first 90-day period goes through, then we will go back to the negotiating table with our partner and see if we can make that better. It's really a matter of compliance and fraud prevention from their side. It's very standard for big regulated companies to do things like this. So as far as marketing is concerned, we're going to see, you've already seen a lot of the PR go out. I think AMB Crypto picked up the article just today or yesterday. We've seen a lot of crypto media, so that's good. Paid marketing, everything is actually paid as of today. Our marketing team will basically do 1 week of testing, and then the campaign will kick off. First campaigns will kick off on the 13th of June. Influencer media and stuff like that will also kick off a couple of days later. So I think that probably addresses all of the burning questions that you guys have right now. I actually with me have a very special guest in here in this room in Dubai that I'm going to bring on to give you some updates on the broader ecosystem of Divi. There's a ton of stuff going on at Divi Labs, but my good friend and business partner and the chairman of Divi, Jeff McCabe, is here to give you some updates on some of the projects that he's been working on for the ecosystem and new use cases around the Divi coin. All right, we have the man, myth, and legend, Jeff McCabe. What's up? So we don't get too many chances to link up, although we've met up a couple times over the past few months here in Dubai. And I know that you've kind of been working on several pseudo skunkworks projects in clandestine mode. Some of which are coming to fruition, very, very close to their impending releases, or at least the run-up to the release. So which one has you most excited at the moment?
Well, definitely Lightning Works. Doing these NFT comics is very exciting because it's an idea I had 3 years ago. Before NFTs were even called NFTs, people were just referring to them as non-fungible tokens, and then all of a sudden this NFT thing blew up, and I was really just trying to solve a problem when I read about comic books being sort of going away because both Marvel and DC said they weren't making money printing them anymore, and they were talking about just making movies and not doing comic books anymore. And I immediately thought, wow, that's terrible. I hadn't really read comic books since I was a kid, and I stopped like in college.
I think we call them graphic novels now.
Yeah, exactly. It's a better name actually. Yeah. So, but I realized right away, like, wow, NFTs could solve this. You can make something digital in print that is collectible with the NFT technology. And so I started thinking a lot about that, and it wasn't until fairly recently that I started developing that, about 1.5 years ago. And I've been just sort of moving along, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as I've been going along. In the beginning, it was just sort of a fantasy, and I started doing a little bit of test art and talking to people, but everyone I talked to just loved the idea. And at one point I had a conversation with the former head of DC Comics named Dan Didio, and he said, wow, this is a really brilliant idea, I love it. We're solving a few problems that are huge in the industry, and one of them was not just collectability of comic books, but also there were some other things that we're uniquely doing. I mean, there are other people now doing comic books, but ours are different because others are done with JPEGs and sort of PDFs, which are easily copied, and ours are animated. They're done with HTML5, so it makes them interactive. And that's one of the big problems that I recognize, is that kids were not very interested in comics anymore because they have so many choices. I have 2 kids, and I see how they interact with the internet. They want stuff to be interactive. They have so many choices. Even for them, like TikTok is interactive because they watch one thing after the other. They get to choose what to do next, and they're constantly sort of interacting with the flow of their entertainment. They have 1 million video games, even within just an ecosystem like Roblox or Minecraft. There's hundreds of thousands of different options of what they can do. So sitting there and reading a paper comic book for a kid is not the most exciting thing. And making them more interactive, making them more eye-catching by making them animated. And there's a lot of other tricks. We can put in little mini games and different things. Connecting them with the video game we're developing. Nick and I are partners in another company called Games Interactive. We're building a video game. I think many of the people that are most hardcore fans have already downloaded it and tried it, and it's really getting good. We're very, very excited, and we're so lucky to have this phenomenal partner named Jake, who was a video game professor, and he's really an expert at knowing how to make games fun, which a lot of people making games, they're very attached to their idea. They're not so focused on the actual fun part. So that's one thing we've noticed sort of among our competitors. So anyway, being able to make our comic books more interactive is really exciting. And of all the NFT comic book projects in the world, none of them are doing what we're doing. So we're developing technology. We have people like full-time that are just building HTML5 visual effects that have never been seen before. They're proprietary to us. So we're basically, a year or 2 ahead of competitors as far as what we're able to do with these comic books. And I'm really excited because it's a use case for Divi. We're going to be doing a launch fairly soon, and I'd like everybody to come to lightningworks.io and go through our process of getting into our Discord and our Telegram, and we'll alert you to that. The very first run of these, people are going to be able to do a pre-sale. We're going to be able to try to make it so people can buy them, basically buy a token that represents them that you can turn in for the comic book later, and you can pay with Divi for that. The second set of them will you'll be able to use eDivi, and you'll only be able to use eDivi. So that's one of the ideas we had to try to excite and get the comic book markets and NFT markets interested in Divi and eDivi, and we're hoping to have tens of thousands of people and spending quite a bit of time and energy and building a team right now to do that. So hopefully these 10,000 plus people will all find out about Divi and eDivi, because we're going to be sort of pushing that and teaching people about it alongside teaching people about digital comic books and what we're doing at Lightning Works. So we need everybody's support for that, and it's coming very soon. We're literally it feels like actually like we're in the ICO process. Nick and I started this in 2017, and it was fun, really fun. It feels like a 24/7 thing, and you're building a team. You have all these amazing people that are coming in. They're getting so excited about the project, and you get inspired by their energy. And so right now it's just the team that we're building, and we're doing a lot of really interesting things that I think in marketing that haven't been done ever before in NFTs or crypto, and it's really fun. We're going to try a lot of different things and see what works, and then run with that. And so come and check out what we're doing. We'll be opening up the Discord to the public soon, and you'll be able to help us out. So it's good. It's good for you. For Divi holders, Divi fans, it's a very much a win-win, because if we succeed with Lightning Works, it's going to be very good for Divi. So I hope you'll all come and join us.
Yeah, I've seen some of the art for the comics, and you had some like Marvel artists or DC artists.
Yeah, most of the artists have done Marvel or DC in the past. Some of them still are. One of the artists is actually doing like the Marvel Star Wars comic right now.
Nice.
And the artists are from all over the world. We just found a guy from the Philippines who's just amazing. We have people from Russia. I think our best artist that I love his art so much, and he's the main artist in our release that we're coming up with now, which is a Siege World's mini comic. He's from Russia, and he's never done Marvel or DC, but I like him best of everybody we have. It's amazing when you look at his art. It's just sort of like scribbles and scratches, but if you blur your eyes, it just makes beautiful, amazing pictures. But when you zoom in, it's just a mess, and it's just so incredibly organic in that way, and unique to his style. And so for me, that's really exciting.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of NFT projects out there that are just like legit Fiverr artists, like random, people, and so it's cool to see projects that are like actually working on art with real artists from industries outside of crypto, and I'm excited for that.
There's a lot of people that really don't like NFTs in the art world. They're part of its jealousy. They've seen sort of non-artists make millions of dollars. They don't understand it.
And big artists make tons off their own, clout, or just writing their name. Like they don't even have to really try that hard. You already have a huge following.
Yeah, so there's a lot of pushback against it. But the way I think of it, I think there was probably a lot of pushback against sort of pop art when artists in the 60s started doing, paintings that were like all black and nothing on it and calling it art. I'm sure a lot of people hated that too, in the same kind of way. They're like, that's not art.
Well, all art, like every art style revolution is met with a lot of pushback. Actually, like, was it Monet that did the water lilies?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he died before his art was popular. During his lifetime, people were like, what the hell is this?
Exactly. Actually, that reminds me that I should write an article about that, about explaining, because when people and artists don't like NFT and they don't consider it to be art, there's so many interesting parallels in history, and that's one of them. Before the Impressionists came out, everything had to be sort of as realistic as possible.
Right, exactly.
So, and Monet and those guys could paint really well. They just wanted to do something different and better. That was more expressive of their emotions.
Totally. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, well, you did mention the video game, Siege Worlds. Mm-hmm. I've gotten to play it a little bit, and I've seen the improvements that have been made. It feels good now. Like, it feels fast-paced, and the difficulty level is there to make it feel challenging enough.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do with games, and everybody loves games.
But how does like the play to earn aspect? Because a lot of these play to earn games are like, first of all, they become cost prohibitive, like we saw with Axie.
Yeah.
And then they also have the issue of being like not fun at all.
Right.
So what's Siege World's doing different?
To be honest, I've never played a play to earn game, so I don't really know what other people are doing. I came up with the idea about 3 years ago, and then started developing it, maybe a year and a half ago, and it's not probably like anything else because I haven't seen what other people are doing. The basic idea is that you're going to pay a little bit of money, and we're going to start with Divi, and you can sort of throw it into a pot.
Yeah.
But part of that money is going to go into a prize pool for that wave. If the team that you're playing with will be up to 20 people at once, if you win, then you get the pot, and it's split among everybody. You also get some money for killing all the enemies. Also, some money goes to the company, and we might do things like what we call earned airdrops, where we'll get sort of companies that want to give away some of their money, they can add on to that. So if there's a new cryptocurrency that wants some exposure, they can give us some, and we'll pass it out in small amounts, so they'll find that in the game. So I think that's going to be an interesting sort of profit center for the game. So at the end of the day, the waves get harder and harder, and those prize pools we think will get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Right.
Until, like a lottery, people get more excited as the numbers go up. We hope we'll attract better and better players, more attention. And of course, we're always going to have those like impossible waves where it just gets better and better and better. And what we're doing is making the wave the same every time. The monsters will come from the same places every time. So my idea, I'm hoping that will happen this way, we don't really know, is that people will start to group together, share notes, play the game over and over as a team, and actually practice.
It's like the Nazi Zombies Black Ops back in the day. That's me and my friends would all play. Mm-hmm. It was a mini game on Black Ops Call of Duty, and like same thing. Like it was the same pattern over and over again. It was getting harder and harder and harder, but you wanted to get further. You had to get, and literally there was like YouTube videos about like, okay, you want to stay here for this wave because they all come out of the store.
Exactly. So okay, good. I'm glad to see. I didn't know about that. So just my own crazy idea. But I'm always looking for ways to get people to socialize, and we're looking at with other aspects like with comic books. How do we get the people that love comic books to interact with each other? So I think that's a really interesting thing. And because our comic books are HTML5, basically each page in the comic book is like a website. Anything you can do in a website, we can do in one of our comic books. So there could be, for example, a window that's there that lets you talk to other people that are reading that comic book page at the same time, and you can see them.
That's interesting.
Just any kind of stupid thing that you can think of with a way. It might be a good idea. You just never know how people are going to do that. And I love the idea of making tools, and especially tools that can be linked together by users, and let them invent stuff, because at the end of the day, you only have so much time to really think about how your products may be used. But if you have thousands and thousands or millions of users, there's a lot of people that are a lot smarter that have different problems they want to solve. And if you're giving them tools to do it, then I think they'll figure out our best use cases.
Yeah.
We just have to be paying attention to what they do and not have too much of an ego set in a certain direction of what we think they want to do.
Yeah.
If we're paying attention to them, they'll tell us where to go, and we'll just iterate in the direction where people seem to want to use our product.
I think it maps out perfectly too, because right now, obviously, GameFi and play to earn, NFT-based gaming and stuff like that are really popular. At least the concept of it is popular. You don't really see actual products. Obviously, like you have the established metaverses like Roblox and Minecraft and stuff like that, but those aren't really crypto metaverses. They just exist. Then you have all these other NFT projects that are like, oh, we'll build a game. You know how long it takes to build a game. You literally now know how long it takes even to build a simple game. Years, right? So
and this is with an expert professor of video games.
Right, exactly. So and even the major studios take years and years to build,
and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right. So you're in a good position. We're in a good position because the product is there. We can now go out, like once the game is out, you hit all the NFT conferences,
right.
And in a sort of ancillary way, you're hitting them with Divi. You're saying this is a Divi play to earn game.
Right.
You know, the fees are low because it's Divi based.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving them something that go download this right now. And even I think you guys are even working on mobile. Is that still in the works?
Yeah, we actually hired a guy just to make a mobile version, and now he had to go to another project, so now we got to get that caught up again. So either find somebody else.
But still, that could be something that you
will
release
be
later
there.
down the line.
And that's another thing we've done is that I've hired a whole team of professional video game girls in Latin America. They don't speak a lot of English, but some of them are like the best in the world at Call of Duty Mobile.
Sweet.
In fact, we have both the number 1 and number 2 players on the team. It's called the Divi Dragoons, and so we did our first contest where we gave out some Divi to people, and we learned a lot of the girls, even the girls that won, they didn't want it. They were like, no, we don't really want it. They're not interested in crypto. So we now have to go back. But that's what we're doing. We're learning, right? So we have to figure out a better pitch. Like, no. Our pitch then was like, oh, here's your Divi, here's your crypto.
Yeah.
We realized that didn't work, so now we got to do more to educate them,
Sure, it
get
takes
them
time.
excited about it, and we'll figure it out. We'll kind of crack that.
Well, we also have here in Dubai some of the people that helped out, the influencers that came on the boat when we did like the La Liga launch events and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a Galaxy Racer, and they're like the biggest esports influencers in MENA. So I mean, we could potentially talk to those folks as well.
That would be great. Yeah, I mean, there was a really exciting moment with the Divi Dragoons that I'd want to tell everybody about because at least it got me really excited. And Laura is the head of the Divi Dragoons, and I asked her one day. I said, "Well, why you only play against other girl teams? What would happen if you played against the guys?" And she said, "Oh, we'd get destroyed." That's literally what she said. They would decimate us, is what she said.
Wow.
And I said, "Well, how do you know that?" And she said, "Oh, well, they're not much better." And I said, well, how do you know that? And she said, well, they have better equipment, there's more of them, they're more dedicated. At least this is what she thought. And I said, you know what? There's, 200 teams. I said, why don't you enter against the guys? Just take your best players, the best girls, and make the team. And so she said, okay. And I said, even if you come out number 200, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll be 199.
At least give it a shot.
And you'll work your way up. You know? And you'll be playing against people that are better. You'll get better.
Yeah.
Well, they got number 5 in the world. So
what? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And actually, like, it went viral among all these teams. All these guy teams saw it. It was in the news of the whole Call of Duty.
Really?
The Divi Dragoons.
The Divi Dragoons.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And I've been trying to talk my sister or somebody to like make a documentary about like their journey. And I was thinking it'd be fun to like. This is my idea. If anybody's out there as a documentary filmmaker, the lives of these girls is quite amazing because they're so poor. They spend all day playing this game, and I don't pay them a lot, but it's as much as they can make just working in a sweatshop in some remote village of Colombia, and this is where most of them live, this kind of thing, right? And so they're so excited they get to do what they love, and they see video games as a way out, And we've talked to them about the metaverse, right? And a lot of people think that the metaverse, people want to escape, from their lives into the metaverse. But for people like this, they just see the metaverse or video games as a way to actually make some money. And so they don't want to escape into the metaverse to avoid that they live in a shanty town or something like this. They would like to find a way that their connection to the internet can make them some money so they can move to a better lifestyle somewhere.
Right, of course.
And so that's what I was telling people when I talk to people about the metaverse. Is that the real use case of the metaverse is not to entertain middle-class kids in the United States because they already have their video games. It's not that interesting to go sit in a virtual living room and chat with their friends, right? What the real use of it is finding ways for people that are very poor to earn money by providing some kind of service. It's basically a new kind of, if people can come up with a way that's like a Fiverr or an Upwork, where you can provide some sort of service and to people that have money and do that through the internet, through your phone or through your goggles or whatever. That's, I think, going to be the best use case for Metaverse. And if you can find mechanisms and tools for that, you're going to have hundreds of millions of people. And we saw that with Axie Infinity, right? Somebody found a way that people that didn't have a lot of money could play this game and earn more than they could just working a normal job or a similar amount. And in a lot of these places, in a lot of these countries, we forget, like living in the United States, there are just no opportunities at all. Right? So there's just no jobs at all. The United States, meanwhile, is like can't find people to work. Even at $15 an hour, nobody wants to work. I mean, they have jobs, But in a lot of countries, the people are just desperate to work. If you can give them a way to do it through their phone or an iPad, they will take it. And so that's where, in my opinion, the metaverse really needs to be going. And I've talked to a lot of visionaries in the space that really know what they're doing, and those guys know this. That this is where the big push will be for metaverse.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Well, all right, this was very enlightening. I'm really excited to see Lightning Works and Siege Worlds come out. Definitely hit up the Lightning Works Discord, or at least the site, to see how you can get waitlisted for when it goes public. And I think can you still download a demo of Siege Worlds right now?
Yeah, you can. We're going to have a new website really soon. I think that actually the last I checked, the download link wasn't working, but you can type in lightningworks.io/download or downloads yourself and download the game. We're going to have a new version very soon. But basically, I really want to recommend people try it because it's actually really fun. I mean, I've had kids playtesting it, and they have all kinds of games that they can play, and I expected them to just not be that interested, but they come to me the next day and like, oh, can we play that game again? They don't remember the name of it, but they remembered that they had a lot of fun playing it. Even my daughter who's 7, when she loved the game, and at first she would just hide like this when the monsters came out, she would get so scared, but she quickly learned that she was be reborn, and so I asked her. I said, so at one point when she died, I said, aren't you scared to die? And she said, no, Daddy, I'm just gonna be reborn, So, and it's funny to see her like talking to the monsters and just the way she's interacting with it, and how she very, very quickly got over her fear when she realized that there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll cut it there for now. I really appreciate, obviously, giving us those updates. It's always good to see you on screen, especially alongside myself.
Yeah.
So guys, obviously you know what to do. Go to diviproject.org, diviwallet.com, download the new update, Divi Project and Divi Wallet across all social medias. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video, and we will see you guys next time.